Dun 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 dun. Let's fucking go! Yes, welcome back to another episode of The Forest. This time we are going to be talking about our theories that we have for the next for the forest and for the upcoming Sons of the Forest game, which will be released in February of 2023. Hopefully be released by then and not delayed again. Uh Average Gaming will be starting us off.
Also here with Boxman and the myth, the fucking legend, Aslan.
I
So we're going to start with the prior island visit because obviously these people have been to the island before, even if they don't want to admit it. So we're going to start by looking at some of Timmy and Megan's drawings to prove this theory. So if Lane would be so kind as to, pull those up for me real quick. Look at that. We got a unicorn. We got some flowers. We got a dinosaur and Daddy.
the red man.
Tater Tot Man, Potato Man.
Yes. So as you
Her
can see,
dad.
Daddy is very scary. Okay. This is Matthew Cross. But look at that cute dinosaur right there. Look at that. Like, she had some talent. But that's not what we're here to talk about. Let's go look at some of Timmy's drawings. Timmy had a lot of drawings. Oh,
That
look at
is
this.
very violent.
Yes, look at this. He has drawn somebody ripping somebody's head off. Wow. Oh, but look at this right here at number 2. At number 2, we have Happy Timmy and who we assume is his dad
With
before
an
they get
airplane.
on the plane. Now,
Glad you.
at number 3, we have a barricaded cave entrance with some crosses. Timmy's got some major talent too. Okay, I just want to go on and say that. Okay, let's move along. Let's move along because next we go into the pit. Wow, look at that. Look at that. Then we have Timmy with the red man. Huh, strange. Timmy does not look happy.
I don't think anyone would be happy with that man. Let's
Probably
be honest.
not. Probably not. But here's my question, okay, and why we bring this up because it's very important. How did Timmy draw these as he was passed out from a plane crash and being drugged back to be killed to bring back a
Well,
child?
I think for a while they had to set up the resurrection process from what I remember watching the videos. Um there was a while that he was just held in like a room and they gave him like crayons and paper.
Okay, but how did his drawings get scattered all over the island?
I'm
That's
not
where the red man
totally
was
sure.
taking them and trying to leave us clues.
But why would the red man leave us clues if he wanted us dead? Because he knew that we would not be happy with him killing our child to save his.
I
Don't
I
know.
don't know.
All of this makes sense eventually once we get further on.
Yeah.
But like legitimately, like this right here, how would Timmy know to draw a rebreather right down here at number 8? How would Timmy be drawing some scuba shit? That's like
You also
Scuba
have
Steve
to
right there.
you also have to remember his dad is an expert survivalist.
Well, yes, yes, and we'll get to that in a minute. We will be
So
getting to
Timmy
that.
probably like his dad probably showed
I
him
think
some
like
pictures, that's type of stuff.
I think in like Timmy's subconscious he remembers that. So like his drawings are like what he remembers in his subconsciousness, which
I mean, okay, so that would make a lot of sense. But what if I told you that Timmy has seen all of this, and the reason that he drew most of these pictures is because that him and his dad were at the island prior to the plane crash.
I mean that would make a lot of sense.
Well, like so let's look at some evidence real quick. So, go on and pull up article, the magazine article of Eric and Timmy, which by the way, we don't find out our name until the true ending of the game, but our name is Eric LeBlanc and Timmy LeBlanc. And if we look right over here, our wife has died. Now, I don't know about you guys, but that would really make me believe that what if Eric knew, because from the way it seems, Sahara was not afraid to uh really put their experiments out in the open. I mean, apparently a lot of people knew about this. They might not have known about the sacrifices, but Sahara was known for bringing people back to life as long as they could pay for it.
Okay, so if she would she have worked with Mr. Cross?
Well, that is actually the next part of the theory. I don't know exactly how this would work, but let's so the next part of that though actually brings more evidence that we have been to the island before. If we take a look at the survival guide, okay, that Timmy has before the plane crash, it was actually written by us. It was written by Eric LeBlanc and a Sam Sound, which we'll get more into them later too. But it's not so much that it was written by us. Go on and bring up the cover of uh, the survival guide. I know
Okay,
we don't have any real good pictures of that, but on the survival guide on the cover there are pictures all around it, and the pictures on the front are actually effigies that are found all around the island that were built by the cannibals.
okay,
Look at this right here. He's got the modern axe.
yeah.
It is the modern axe.
Could this be how it got on the island?
Well, yeah, if they use that for the survival, if they use that when they went to the island the first time and he left it there on
Because it
accident.
was, yes, because the modern axe was found in a cave. So if he was exploring a cave and using it for protection either way, like not only was he being a survival expert, but he was trying to not get eaten by cannibals, it would
Yeah.
explain why the modern axe would be there.
Okay, there we go.
Okay, so once again, I know it's not a great picture. I'll throw something up with a better picture. But these three pictures down here at the bottom are all the effigies that we can find throughout the island. Now, how would he have those pictures if he had never been to
Hang
the
on.
island?
And would they have, if they left the axe there,
All right.
which you can see in the survival cover, it's in that
Actually,
log.
yeah.
Is that the modern axe or is that the rusty axe?
No, that's the modern. You can tell by the shape. That's the modern axe.
So what if they had left it there, and you can see water there? So if water had risen and like drug it into a cave, and then the water went down,
Well,
that could explain.
Let me
you
show you
know,
this.
so
Let me show you this real quick where it's found.
well, with that being said though, a hidden stash room.
This is where it's found.
Okay, so that's like in a.
This is in a cave. This is in cave 2.
So we
Okay,
are in a cave with a lot of videotapes as well,
Dynamite,
which kind of,
players.
you know, look at this.
Hey,
So this stash room here actually helps with a different theory, like a later theory, and I think I will go on and throw this out here because this is like a real short one. So, one of the theories I had was what if the events of the forest were all just one big episode for Eric's TV show? And
that would
I mean,
be.
right.
I don't know how to describe that, but that would
Well,
make a lot more sense.
so I mean, yeah, if you look here, we've got red paint, we've got a whole cave stash.
what is that? What does that say? Lost Children of the Peninsula.
Oh, so it looks like we might have a series he's been working on.
So it looks like Eric's been working on a TV show.
Because from the survival guide cover, Lost Children of the Peninsula, my bad. But what is the name up
I'm sorry. What was that?
what is the name up top there though?
Can't
Can
tell.
we
That's why.
go pull up there we go. Okay. Let's get a Mark L or is that
No,
Mark or is that
That's Mark L.
Williams maybe?
hang on.
It looks like either Williams or Edwards or something.
We were totally off. Jake.
Ah, Jake
J.
L.
L. Birds.
I see. So now we have a whole new maybe
Person.
well, hang on. What if that is could that be maybe the producer of Eric's show? The director?
Or could Eric have taken like
Maybe a
pit
screen
name?
name?
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. Because I mean, what what other reason? So maybe this entire theory has just been shut down and like maybe this one small piece just answered the entire question. Because we have an entire stash room here full of supplies. And what is the biggest thing about any survival show that all of us know? Most of
It's
it's not
all.
right. Most of it's not real, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's always
Yeah.
a medic on standby. They're not always hunting for food. They've got a whole tin over here full of it, right?
Yeah, like the survivor has, they give them like portions of rice
Oh yeah. Yeah,
and
they're
other
safe
things.
throughout the entire thing.
Yeah.
And I mean, this actually like really fits because with all the boxes, look at all the stuff we've got. We've got electrical tape, we've got We've got a modern axe. We've got the modern arrows, dynamite, soda, meds. I mean, all the red paint, the paintbrushes, so we can give makeup to the cannibals.
Also makes me think, okay, this may be somewhere where Cross went too because of the red paint.
Well, that's true, but Mr. My bad, Doctor Cross, got to get that right. People don't take too kindly to that. Uh, Doctor
Alive.
Cross, being the main antagonist of the show, of course there's going to be paint here, so they can repaint him every time it's time to get back on set.
But
So what if
it
what
Wait a minute.
if
So what if this whole game and this whole series is just one giant TV show?
and that is exactly what I'm thinking. What if Eric LeBlanc is not Eric? What if the survival guide is just a prop?
And Eric is actually like this Jake guy.
Exactly, exactly. He is the main star of the show. Because as you can see right here, or you know what? You know what? What if the survival guide is actually written by Eric, but the TV show, he plays Eric as a survival expert, and his real name is Jake. You know, like that explains why there are hundreds of tapes all in
there's
this room.
also there's also recording equipment all around the island too.
Why would there be tapes labeled that? Because literally no one knew what was going on the island.
This is also in there.
Oh yeah, the autopsy report of Jessica Cross, which is a big portion of the story that would be told through the TV show because as we find out, we find that Matthew Cross had kidnapped his daughter because she was sick and he wanted to fix her. And his wife was trying to divorce him and take Megan away from him. So, I mean, it all kind of fits in with the whole TV show premise. It gives the motivation of the villain.
Let's see. I'm trying to get. Ah, here we go. Restraining order.
Yes, here is the restraining order that can be found between Jessica Cross and Matthew Cross.
Okay, so is Jessica, would she be Megan's mom?
Yes,
Yes.
this is Matthew's wife.
Okay, I just missed the last little bit. I was dealing with a client. I'm at work.
But
So,
she tried putting a restraining order on him because of aggravated stalking and harassment,
but as
okay.
you can tell, that did not work because he kidnapped her.
Yeah,
and killed his wife.
so he kidnapped her and killed her,
Well, so no, he
No, he
kidnapped
kidnapped his daughter.
and killed the wife,
Yep.
which again,
but also successfully killed his daughter because she had to be
Yes.
revived or
He
so
also killed
whatever.
her by accident because of
a mutant broke out and killed her,
yes.
which again makes for a really good TV show episode. Distraught father thinks he's doing the right thing, but in all reality, I mean,
No.
we've seen this plenty of times in a lot of TV shows where the villain is trying to be the good guy. But
Okay.
let's say that this isn't all one big TV show. Let's continue on with this. So we talked about the effigies being found on the book, and
Right here. I know it's not very clear, but
Right. So what we have is we're starting to wonder if maybe Eric had something to do with this. You know, so we now know that his wife died.
uh-huh.
But what if Eric had connections to the Sahara company and was going to pay the company to bring his wife back? Was that the reason he had visited the island prior? And I mean, this is kind of a shot in the dark, but we found multiple money caches on the island in the caves. Okay, like we found the crate. Me and Zach found the crate.
Yes, that was a shit ton of money.
Yeah,
And there were
and
like 3 briefcases, but
r-
we couldn't collect. There was two that were closed, and we weren't able to get them.
right, and I believe that that was Eric's payment for the procedure to bring his wife back. But listen to this part here. Why would it not be? Because think about it. How did he get the money to the island? Why would it not be suspicious to have a huge amount of money being stacked on a plane if it wasn't for someone who was going to be on an outdoor adventure for TV with no banks? Nobody
True.
would suspect Eric bringing along a big cache of money because he's famous. He's going to an island, he's going to need some money. So it wouldn't be suspicious at all, right?
Right.
But who's to say he took the money on the plane? Nobody said that the money had to be on the plane. That money was stacked up pretty neatly in that cave like it had been there for a minute. Which will bring us to our next section of the theory, the yacht. We have to think about the yacht. Where did it come from? Why was it there? Why was the door locked? Like why was there a key card accessed door on this yacht? And at the end of the game, if you take the other ending, the golden key card that you get off Megan is the only one that opens that door. Now,
Eh,
with that being said, we'll go back to how he got the money to the island without getting caught. So the yacht we can suspect is where Cross and Eric first met. That's where they made the deal. Cross uses the yacht to pick up his clients and bring them to a safe spot on the island and straight to the entrance of the facility. There's nothing around for miles, so the yacht is used for people to be comfortable on their journey to the island. And if you think that that is the stupidest thing you've ever heard, if you beat the game, you unlock creative mode and you can use command prompts. And what is the command prompt to take you to the yacht? Go to Cross. Now, this is a very rare occurrence. We got it on the first try. Unfortunately, we did not record it. But as you get to the yacht for the first time, you can see who we assume to be Matthew Cross standing on the yacht. But he disappears as you start swimming closer.
Yeah, right here. If you want to go to the back of the yacht, it's go to cross. But take a look at this that I found. This
So
is from June of '82,
so now we have a date of when the yacht first arrived.
and we have two people on it.
Huh. Odd. I wonder who the
One
second person could
standing,
be.
one standing where you can see cross, right over here,
Right, right.
and then someone on the back.
And in 1982, So we don't exactly have a timeline of when this game takes place, but considering that there are cassette tapes and camcorders that still take the VCR tapes, we can assume that we are not very far from 1982.
And you know what we see here?
Is the same
We've got,
picture that you just pulled up.
yeah, I know, but as we can see here, we have this what looks to be a grave. I wonder if Cross murdered them.
That would explain the head on the yacht.
We
Or,
It could be he used them trying to see if adults worked.
yeah, because see, that brings us to another part of the theory is why did it have to be children?
because they're pure and don't know anything about the real world when unlike adults we know everything that's going to happen.
I don't know. I feel like there's something more to it. Maybe children give off more energy for the artifacts.
If we look here at the obelisk, it's not very big. Like, let me see if I can find a
Well,
photo with Timmy in it.
so maybe if you think about it, back in the day, this
Well,
thing
here's
was
an adult standing next to it.
Or it was because children were easier to get than adults.
well, yeah, that too, but also you have to think these obelisks were built by the what we only know as the ancient ones. And so back then, sacrificing children was, if you could sacrifice a child, then that would show your loyalty to whatever god that they believed in. I mean, anybody could sacrifice an adult, but like, if you were willing to give up your own child, what kind of loyalty would that be?
Especially like when cults and religions were first forming, that was
Exactly.
like a big thing.
Exactly. If you would give up your child for me, then I would know that your loyalty was pure. Like, I wouldn't have anything to worry about. Or we look at Eric's wife. We've already talked about this a little bit. So, let's go back to the magazine article and
Alright.
the tragic accident exposed. Now, and if you look way over here to the side, we can't exactly see, but it says a killer passed, or what we assume a killer passed. Now,
Hey, we
what
have a date here.
we do have a date. What does that say? 20 or 10?
That says 2010.
So
June 21st of 2010.
so we are wow, okay. Okay, so we now have a date that we can assume is 2010
And
somewhere.
we found this next to um we found this next to the cockpit.
That is right.
I don't know. It's a video.
So, let's take a look at the tragic accident exposed. Now, from what we can assume, they are slightly blaming Eric for this. Now,
Would make
uh,
sense in a lot of cases more modern because now if a wife dies, a lot of times police would just look at the husband first.
right, right. But see, we don't know what the tragic accident was.
Yeah, we don't know how she died, when she died. We know like when the cover came about.
Right. So it does make me wonder, okay? That leaves us with three options that I can think of. Did she die on the island? Like, is that grave hers that's on the beach? Or was were people starting to get suspicious because he didn't want her body taken so he could take her to the island for the procedure? Or was Eric paid to give her up to use for one of their experiments?
I mean, it doesn't seem like this man has any emotion anyway, because I mean, if you decide to just stay on the island, literally you walk out the door and burn the photo of Timmy.
Yeah.
Well,
So it wouldn't surprise me if he gave her up.
so let's, to make this easier on all of us, let's just say that the true ending was bringing Timmy back. But even with that being said, okay, this man still killed 3 children and God knows how many other people on that plane for his son.
Yeah.
So either way, it doesn't, like, he's not the good guy here.
Cross did the same thing though.
Well, that's true, but we see what happened to him as well.
But
So,
here's the thing. Cross also, when he didn't see a child, also took the axe and started murdering everybody else who he saw that was alive.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
then stopped after he saw Timmy.
I mean that's just it. So Eric and Cross are really, they're not much different. But that's what I'm thinking. What if once again we go back to the prior island visit? So obviously Eric has been here before. And here's how we really know he's been here before. Eric is a survivalist expert. He's not a scientist. He knows nothing about electronics, whatever. So, how did Eric know how the machine worked to bring Timmy back? Like, he wouldn't have any clue how
He
the
would not
equipment
have
worked.
he wouldn't have the prior knowledge unless if
That's,
Sarah had worked with Dr. Cross and told him about it.
that's,
Maybe.
see, that's exactly what I'm saying is he hooked up Timmy with no issue and knew exactly what he was doing. He knew exactly to put Megan in the machine. He knew exactly where to hook Timmy up to bring him back.
The only
If
thing that he didn't know is that the person had to be alive to do it.
exactly. So if Eric had never been to the island, like he knew nothing, he didn't know how the plane crashed, which, understandable that he didn't know how the plane crashed because he didn't know about the second obelisk. All he knew was this company had found a way to bring people back to life. And he was going to pay them to bring his wife back.
Yeah.
And maybe that's why there are different money caches around scattered around the island, so it's not all in one place where it's easy to get to for if someone does explore.
Exactly. Because he was going to pay them. And to be honest, I think he was involved in some of the experiments that took place. Because one other thing that I didn't think of until just now when writing this script, how did he know calm Timmy down when he started having his freak out?
Maybe because we were able to calm Megan down when she was having her freak out, but it was already to the point where the mutant was ready to come out,
Well,
and
here's
they
the
need and that mutant needed a reason, and we were the reason why it came out fully.
here's the problem though. So we didn't know to calm down Megan. In fact, we didn't calm down Megan. She was already calm, playing with her toys and showing us what happened. She was reenacting the plane crash and then just flipped out and lost it. Now, Eric obviously, the way he freaked out, acted like he didn't know that the mutations came from bringing them back, right? He just thought that this was a fucked up experiment, just like the Armsy, the Virginia, the the Cowman, whatever you want to call that one. Uh,
Yeah.
so when Timmy started freaking out, how did he know what to do? Because here's the thing, Timmy's mutation, as we saw in one of the emails, if you can find that while we're talking about it, I think it was an email, maybe it was a note. In one of the emails, it takes exactly 1 year before the uh, for the mutation to kick in.
Let's see here. Bring down a plane. Terminate. Maybe termination notice. No.
No, I can't remember where it was, but either
I thought
way,
it was just us talking about it because it was a year. We didn't see it happen until a year later.
go to Sahara.
Hang on.
Okay, I'm seeing the one that looks like it has a cup imprint on it.
That's the one that's about bringing down the plane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, you need to find Sahara because the page on yeah, here we go. There should be some stuff in here that explains it. So either way, Sahara is a company that had built itself on the Sahara Therapeutics is a company focused on younger looking, longer living humans, and the company purchased the island after discovering the artifact hidden deep in the caves. Unfortunately, when used, the resurrection obelisk caused mutations and monstrous deformities in the victims.
Okay, there's a terminate.
The
No, that's the.
Obviously that's not true though, because we weren't on the island for a year and Megan had immediately mutated.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, that actually brings me to the next portion, the connection between mutation and emotion. Now, does emotion cause the mutation? Can the mutation be reversed?
I feel like okay. So I watch a lot of sci-fi shows, and a lot of them, your whatever is caused by emotion.
Yes.
Like the Hulk, he Bruce
Anger?
Banner became the Hulk
Anger.
when he was angry.
Yes. And honestly, unfortunately, is, I mean, we go back to our lovely man child, Ryan Reynolds. In Deadpool, what caused his mutation? Fear.
Anger, or fear, and then he was a very angry man.
Oh yes, yes he was. He was a very very angry, shit talking, scared
Hmm.
man. So, I think it's safe to say that emotion is very much so connected to the mutation because Megan was scared. She just murdered her own father. And then some random guy walks up to her in this big scary laboratory. And then, let's look at this. Well, what emotion was Timmy feeling when he started having his freak out? Well,
He was probably scared.
I mean, for
Or
one,
nervous, one of the two.
for one,
So
Timmy had just survived a plane crash, got kidnapped, got killed, brought back to life, and the first thing that happens as soon as they get back to civilization, he's drug in front of a crowd of people. Hot lights, national television. Obviously, this kid is like just full of anxiety.
Yeah, he is. Well, anxiety and nervousness go along a lot with fear
Yes.
coming from someone who has anxiety.
Yes.
And if his anxiety was the biggest emotion at that moment, it would have been a factor of fear.
Right. So I think it's safe to say that emotion definitely clicks with the mutations.
Yeah.
Yes.
100%. Definitely, like, it has something to do with the mutations. Uh,
But here's something else that I had seen. Somebody else was saying it was the same guy who made the some of the videos that we watched. Um, they were saying that Megan had never mutated completely either when she killed Dr. Cross.
no. No, she did not. She
She
No,
was.
stayed she stayed normal, but she just had a freak out and murdered him.
her first freak out. So Timmy's first freak out was a seizure, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Or seizure like. He never fully mutated.
Just like Megan
He
never
just
fully mutated. And this, it is safe to say for sure, Eric had been to the island before.
yes.
It is safe to say that he made a deal with Dr. Cross. It is safe to say that Eric had been on the yacht before, whether it was to make the deal with Dr. Cross to bring his wife back, or whatever the case may have been. But he had been there. Eric's wife, we're still not sure about. My honest opinion, I'm gonna say he met on the yacht to make the deal, and he was trying to bring his wife back.
Well, that's what I think. I think the original deal with Dr. Cross was he would go to the island and bring Sarah, is her name?
I don't think we ever get to know Eric's wife's name.
Okay. Well, the wife, he he wants his wife back. So probably that Timmy would have a mom
Most
and
likely.
would have his one true love, whatever. Whatever
I
you believe.
honestly, I don't think it had anything to do with love, because my biggest thing is,
He probably didn't want to have to raise his child.
well, like, so he's already a TV star. How am I going to continue my TV lifestyle if I don't have anybody to watch my kid? Like, you know,
And
his.
if he didn't, well, of course there's nannies, but if he didn't want to pay for a nanny or whatever,
Maybe he wasn't cheap. Okay, maybe it wasn't the fact that he didn't want to pay. Maybe it was the fact that he spent all his money paying Sahara and Dr. Cross to bring his wife back, and he was broke. Like,
Okay, but if you think about it, he would have had to make the decision that one, instead of paying for a nanny, he was gonna bring his wife back from the dead.
that is true. Hear me out on this. So, he wanted to bring his wife back because maybe it was his fault she died. The tragic accident, maybe he took maybe he took her on one of his little adventures for one of the episodes and there was a tragic accident while they were, or maybe it was just a vacation, whatever. Maybe the tragic accident happened on vacation.
Okay.
What if, now this is really a shot in the dark, okay? The bottom of the pit, there's a helicopter.
Yeah.
Okay.
What if that helicopter crash, in fact, here we go, here's another real big shot in the dark. What if the reason Eric was on the island prior had nothing to do with trying to bring his wife back? What if
What if
he
he
was on that
go on that?
helicopter? What if he was on that helicopter? What if it crashed? He had to use his survival skills. And what if his wife died in the tragic accident that caused the helicopter crash?
Because if we think about, let's think about the forest or the Sons of the Forest trailer. The cannibals can jump.
That they
What if
can.
they brought what if they brought that helicopter down in the pit?
Well, to be honest, I don't think it was the cannibals. I think maybe it was a random malfunction. What if what if that's actually how he met Dr. Cross before he became what he became? What if the helicopter went down? The people of Sahara had heard the commotion because literally it happened right on top of the entrance to their lab.
Okay, I have an idea.
Like I don't think that I don't think he would have any idea about the experiment up until, if that helicopter crash is why he was there before, then you know they would have rushed her in uh to put her up so she didn't decompose, and then Dr. Cross would use his his doctorly charm or whatever and be like, "Yo, you want to pay me this amount of money? I can bring her back for you." But then
Maybe.
but then what if, in fact, we don't really know, what if one of the mutants happened to be his wife, and what if,
Yeah, because we never truly know what happens to her.
right, and so that could also explain why he knew how the machines worked. Maybe they did bring her back. Maybe the mutation happened, and that's why he covered up the death but didn't really cover, he let people know that there was a tragic accident, but maybe people got a little suspicious because there was no funeral, no body, no autopsy. Why were you hiding that information?
And there's the autopsy of um, Cross's wife.
Right, Jessica Cross, we had that information.
Yeah.
And, that's that kind of brings that point to head of, I think maybe she was mutated or it just didn't work and he covered it up.
Yeah.
And then obviously Dr. Cross knew that he had a child. To be completely honest, I think all of these theories are complete bullshit. Just hear me out. Like, my go-to theory for this game after looking into the evidence way further, like after everything that we have just gone over, there are some things that I didn't even think about when writing this. That there is recording equipment all over the island.
Yeah.
Now,
So
with that being said, there's a secret underground base that's running experiments on children, so okay, cool. They've got security set up, whatever. Wrong. Why is there a stash room full of tapes? Why is the stash room full of suitcases, full of supplies, medicine, food? This is one big TV episode so Eric can make more money, and honestly, I believe that his wife is really dead. I really do, because that was on a magazine cover, but at the same time, I don't believe that Eric is a real person. I believe Eric is a character of a famous person who has been a survivalist expert for many years, and his wife died. He's got his son. He's flying all over the world, and this just happens to be the final episode of his show.
yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
It
But
does.
with season with let's say new show comes out, and that's where we get in to our next and final portion of this theory. Sons of the Forest, Timmy is the main character, and his dad, Eric, is the billionaire we are trying to find. So has Eric has basically retired from
Doing
acting.
TVs
Yes,
and everything.
exactly. He's lived his life. He uses his connections. And you know what? This might not even be a TV show at this point. This is a movie. That's why the very end of the game shows the mutation slowly trying to come out of Timmy's body.
Yeah.
So they can make a second one. And wouldn't you know it, it makes sense for the title. We've got The Forest, where Eric LeBlanc decides to travel with his son. The plane goes down, and he's got to escape the island, find his son, save his son, and then his son gets caught with the worst predicament of all, and it gives him a reason to make Sons of the Forest.
So here, I'll show.
Yes,
I'll show why we.
go on and
Okay.
play this trailer. So, if we look real close, and I mean, it's really hard to see,
Yeah, this
this
is really
man,
not clear.
this man right here has the exact same scar down his forehead, through his eye that Timmy has. And this guy over here, with his famous line, "Get down, son." Now, I get it. Old people, okay? A lot of old people will call you son, okay? It's understandable. I do it from time to time. But I feel that that was a little more sincere than just "get down, I'll take care of this." This here is Eric, and this here is Timmy, here to save his dad.
You know, it would make a lot of sense because you see, especially after actors go into retirement, they tend to gain weight.
Yeah?
And looking in that clip, it looks like Eric would have put on a little bit of Wait.
Well, also we have
There
to
we go.
think.
That's more clear.
Oh, here we go. Yes,
I put it in 4K.
you can look real close here and you can see that he does have the same scar.
Yes,
But
he is.
with that being said, at the end of the forest, Timmy looks to maybe be what, probably 18, early 20s maybe.
He's around
He's a
20.
young adult. We for sure know that.
Obviously, he's old enough to live on his own. And obviously, he decided to
He's in
move.
like early collegehood,
Right.
basically.
And obviously, he has decided to move out on his own. He has taken up he has gone up to taking pills and alcohol to keep the mutations at bay, keep him calm. And at some point he decides to do something with his life. He hears that his dad has gone missing, so he decides to do something about it. Now, how he gets involved with these mercenaries, we don't know yet. But we are at least 96% sure that that is Timmy. Well, actually, we didn't hear Eric's voice at all. But let's look at the body, the head shape. Uh,
There you go. There's a better look at him.
this is a man who has been around the block a time or two, and who is somebody we know that has dealt with these mutants before. This isn't just some random billionaire who got stranded on an island. This man came looking for violence. Okay, so as we can see here, Eric is already kind of big right here. We can look at the
Yeah.
hair. I mean, everything pretty well matches. Now,
I mean, the
see,
beard.
right, see if you can find an older picture of Timmy, like uh the ending of the forest, Timmy. All we need to do is we shave the hair, give him a little beard going. He's got the same scar. Our protagonist from Sons of the
Hey, wait.
Forest is definitely Timmy. I believe that Sons of the Forest is the sequel to The Forest, the movie, not the game. Obviously, it's the sequel to the game, but I also believe that it's just two big movies, and Eric is retiring, so he's getting Timmy into the film industry and letting him take over the legacy of being the new actor of the family.